Well, hello and welcome to, well, I was about to say welcome back to, but this is not a welcome back to. Welcome to Dark Switch. So I got a code for this game. Thank you so much for sending it to me. I get a little bit of an early access. From what I understand, I don't have access to the full game, but I have access to something that's longer than the demo that's currently on Steam. I haven't checked the demo at all, but we're going to be checking out this game today. So this particular type of game is a city builder on a tree in what seems to be like a dystopia? Like the world's been destroyed, there's magic-ish stuff. Anyway, let's start a new game and just jump into it. I'm gonna do like half an hour. Years ago, violent shroud surges began ravaging our world. They overwhelmed and engulfed everything in their path. And with the fog came horrors beyond comprehension. That is why, by the personal decree of Archon Valfetus, that's not his name, we founded the settlement we call Elron? Here we conducted vital research to study this shroud's nature, to uncover its secrets, and to forge weapons against this unrelenting threat. Okay, so this got story. It's kind of like giving me, if you guys ever played Warcraft 3, it's kind of got like similar things going on where it's story based, but you can still just build and do that sort of thing. But there are things that happen. So I'm getting that kind of thing. Now I'm not going to play the tutorial because I think I'm going to have the tutorial, but I'm going to skip through most of it just in case something pops up that I've never done before, because there is a point that I stopped playing a little bit earlier because I was getting, I don't want to say frustrated because it wasn't frustration. It was like I didn't know what I was doing. And for these types of games, I like to know what I'm doing. So let me just escape out of the tutorial. Do I want to read all of this? Maybe I'll read some of this. Messer Ethnarch, the messenger bird, has brought ill tidings. The bureaucrats of Sarago write that food shipments will cease. Furthermore, they demand a report on our activities here. So Archon, is it Valfides? There we go, that sounds much better. Is losing power. What about our supplies? We have enough food for 3 days, Messer Ethnarch, but there are mushrooms above the platform of the Great Tree. It's not the healthiest food, but since we don't have anything better, go collect it. Okay, so the game's gonna try and give me some tutorials here, but really what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna jump in and start just doing things. So basically, the way this game works is there's nighttime shifts and there's daytime shifts. And for right now, we want to get as much of things as we can. Let me just get started here so I can then talk about what we've got. So here is our home base. We were basically building on this tree. There's some cool stuff going on here. I kind of gather, by the way, that there are some, what's the words I'm looking for? Story-based stuff that what you do will like kind of change the outcomes of things, kind of like that. So if I zoom in here, this is our little base. We have in the center, we have a council chamber. These little buildings are little forest houses where we can, where our people live. We do have a lot of homeless, so we do want to worry about that. These things here are wood piles. We have 45 wood on each. That's going to be, well, 60 in this one and that one, and only 45 in this one. That's going to become a problem really quick here. We've got these mushroom places where we can get food. Those are, as far as I can tell, they roll forever. Mushrooms are not the best food, but that's okay. Now the game is going to tell us as we go like what we need to do. I'm going to start by building a cookery. So cookeries make rations from raw food. Up in the top left corner here, we've got things where it's got like, here's raw food and it turns into rations. Here's wood and we can get wooden planks and coal, gas and gasoline, metal and steel, and solar, as well as crystals. I haven't gotten to this part yet. Over here, I gather this has something to do with the threats. I'm actually not sure what's going on over here. I'm gonna be honest. On the top right, we have scouts, homeless, and how many people we have that are ill. There's nothing we can do with the ill right now, but let's go ahead and head down to the scout base, and we're gonna go ahead and just create a group. We're not gonna be doing anything with them right off the bat, but we do need scouts and just having them ready to go. What they're gonna do is they're gonna start training, essentially. They're preparing and they'll be ready to go. We're just gonna need it. Now in the cookery, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna fill it up completely, but we are going to eventually want many more of that. Now, wood is going to be pretty much the biggest issue. Kind of out, like, we're gonna have problems with wood. Why is it? It's every game I play. I'm gonna start also building some houses. Now, as you saw, let me go ahead and just grab a forest house. As you can see here, there's like this grid, and as you go, it basically tells you, oh, you know, you can place it here, but you can't build annexes. You can upgrade things later. You can't build places, so you can kind of put it wherever. There's also locations on the ground that you can see that we can build outside the tree. Don't do that right now. Build on the tree to start with. And we do want to get people into homes, and we want to get food, because I think, you know, I'm not entirely certain because I haven't played that much with it, but it does seem that, like, if they're homeless, they have kind of like low morale, which is not great. Let's go ahead. There's a pause, normal speed, double speed, triple speed. So I'm gonna go ahead and just turn it to triple speed so we can collect food and then therefore move on with this particular quest. And we're trying to collect food from the mushroom patch, so let's wait for that. These mushrooms taste like feet and smell like old garbage. No wonder so many workers get sick after eating them. Let's boil them. Boiling will break down the poison. They won't taste any better, but at least they'll be safe. Okay, let's ignore that. Basically, it was telling us that we want to create a cookery, which we've already done, and to produce rations, which we're already doing. So I've already been through this. I kind of knew it was going to happen. Now, how much wood do we have left? We've got some more wood being built, so let me build another house up here. I'm gonna build a house over here. We have plenty of space, don't you worry, but I want to make sure that we are doing that. Morale, basically. That's why we build houses, is for morale. People have accidents if their morale is low. We're almost done with the rations. We want to make sure, as time goes by, that the food is actually being converted into rations. One of the things I noticed as I was going through the game, it doesn't tell you, but if you have to keep, you do need to keep an eye that the rations are not just hitting like 0, because they will. Our wood stocks are quickly getting low. We can't keep this up or we're gonna run out of it completely. We have no choice but to take the risk and go down for wood. It's dangerous. What if we suddenly run into Surigo's air patrol? Be on your guard. By the way, you can find a secluded spot near the lake to build a fisherman's shed. After all, one can't live on mushrooms alone. Okay, so now we've got these little areas where we can explore the woods. I'm gonna send out my scouting team over here. It mentions our rangers must assess their viability for lumber. That's going to be the big thing that I want to focus on, because as of right now we only have lumber from these little wood piles, and it's not going to be enough. That's the other thing that you will have to figure out how to scale, because you're going to need more and more wood as the game progresses. Now you can zoom in pretty close and actually see like your scouts and like what they're doing. And they basically, for these guys, they just kind of like circle the spot, which is cool. There's lots of little air. Ooh, I zoomed a little too far. You can actually see some of your people move. I don't think it's individuals, which is fine. You can actually see all the people that are living in certain places as well as their classes. There are 3 different classes. Let me click on a building here. Oh, well, that's not particularly helpful right now. So we explored that one area, and our scouts are gonna go rest. Let me go ahead and just get started here, because we're gonna need this lumberjack hut. And I'm gonna build one right here. Looks like we've got 25, 7, 8. I'm guessing that's how much wood is in this area. And also we do need to build a warehouse, but we don't have the wood for that right now. But I'm gonna build this because it's gonna be the most important. What I was trying to say, so if I click on one of these buildings, we've got 3 different classes. We've got rangers, toilers, and I'm blanking on the other one, craftsmen. Correct? Am I correct? Craftsmen, toilers, and rangers. Ooh, 3 red signals from the northeast. That means the neighboring outpost, Ignalis, has fallen. There's no way to help them now. The ruins where Ignalis is located are a 5-day journey away. Even if we send rangers, after marching through fog teeming with shroud creatures and ancient relics, they'll need their own help. Elrond has a mission and completing it is paramount. Yeah. Last every man for itself. So basically, each of our items has places for an extension, but that's all that was saying. Perhaps someone from Ignis must have survived. We must accept the survivors if they reach us. Are you going to accept them? You know the shroud. You know what the shroud does to people. Do you want crazed refugees to burn half of Elrond to the ground? We'll help them as long as it doesn't hinder our research, and we ourselves can't sleep in tents anymore. We need to build proper houses. Or maybe we should just cut it down. Before you proceed, Maton, remember, cutting the flesh of the great tree is not only sacrilege, but also a crime. The Sorago is far. Mr. Ethnarch will never allow it. Yes, precisely. The great tree generates solar, therefore I forbid anyone to even lay an axe to it without the craftsman's supervision. I will not tolerate such barbarism. Are you kidding me? Barbarism. Sure. Fell the trees on the ground. Anyway, now, one of the things that did appear up here is a fear bar. Basically, as things happen, this bar will increase and bad things will happen. It's basically people are getting more and more afraid as time goes by, and probably reasonable. We haven't really seen the shroud. This is the shroud right here, by the way. We haven't really seen the shroud encroach too much, but it does encroach and it causes corruption. Very mysterious. Okay, so finally got this stupid lumberjack complete. Let's go ahead and we can also build a fisherman's hut. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna ignore all of that because I already know what's going on, and we've unlocked the fisherman's shed so we can get fish, which is great. I should mention, as I'm like working through this, that my computer's like going pretty crazy. It does seem to heat up my machine quite a bit. I don't know why. I've noticed that games like this tend to do a lot of that. Let's see, our scouting party is ready, but I don't actually see anything else to scout. But you can see kind of like the shroud is kind of sneaking in here. It does cause issues. Let's go ahead and assign wood to this warehouse here, which is what it wants us to do. And we want to start building houses as well as gather wood. Now I'm gonna want to build another hut eventually. I'm gonna build another house down here because there's gonna be a lot of people working on the forest floor. And that just gives us some things for their places for them to live. I'm actually not sure if they choose the closest house to where they work. I hope they do. And as we go, as these get, oh, they're already gone. Never mind, we are only working on the forest floor. Let's go ahead and max these out then. Now that we have all those people available, the Skywalker from Sorago dropped signal fires on the ground before departing. What for? It turned around not far from the great tree and never reached us. It's probably how the captain marked where he left something for us. I'll send some rangers to check it out. All right, well, I actually have this right here, so let's go ahead and go grab that and see what it is. Let's see here. We also need, how much does the fisherman's shed costs? 50, so we need a lot of wood. So we're working on this. As you can see here, this we get 120 wood per day, which isn't a lot, honestly. For the amount of wood that you need in this game to get anywhere, you're probably going to want to build a lot more than that. And the shroud just faded, as you noticed. This is an expected supply shipment. So we got some rations, some steel, some wood, some gasoline, and some solar, which is great. And we got some advanced stuff from that. Moving on, let's go ahead and build that fisherman's shed. Let me give that a second. They're coming back, as you can kind of see that they are returning. And I think once they return, they'll actually bring all of those supplies with them. They are currently resting. There we go. So we now have stuff. Let's go ahead and build that fisherman's shed. And it does look like, as you saw there, I don't know if it's supposed to do this, but wooden planks and wood seem to be kind of the same supply, or at least interchangeable, which is interesting. I don't think we have any more scouting stuff right now to do, but in case you're wondering, you can always click here if you want to get some information about your scouts, and then over here you can click here, which will also pop that up. Then you can always disband your group too, but I don't see a reason to do that at any point in time. I'm not going to. Take that. All right, let's go ahead and get this built. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. It's a sense. I don't know if maybe I'm sensitive with my mouse. That actually could be it. Okay. The people are barely standing on their feet. It's amazing how they overcame all this way. Nobody can really explain what occurred. Some talk about an unexpected attack by the inhabitants on each other. Others say there were waves of fog in which entire squads vanished. Among those who came, many were wounded, but a big chunk of them were lunatics. The tide of psychos drool, laugh wildly, and mumble random odd words. The fog has consumed their minds. We have seen this before. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add them. The refugees from Ignalis are climbing up the tree towards us, some of them with tears of happiness, some with noticeable relief, some with unnatural indifference on their faces. If we have accepted them, then we must provide all the conditions. We need to build the healing chambers. Okay, so a couple different things. Can you stop, game? A couple different things that just occurred. That's not the button I wanted to push. I want to pause for a second. First things first, we absolutely need to get this healing quarters in here stat. So healing quarters, in fact, we may want to build a second one eventually. Healing quarters heal. Spoilers. But they heal pretty much everything. So we want to get that built because it's going to become extremely, extremely important when things start to occur. So it shows here that we've got 5 mentally ill, 1 physically ill, 4 severely physically ill. And as we build this healing quarters, great, now we have fish. And don't forget to build a warehouse next to the fisherman's shed. A warehouse for fish? Terrible idea. The smell will attract all the guzzles in the area. That is a enemy. Take it easy, folks. We'll put the warehouse on the bottom platform. We've been talking about expanding that spot for ages, and we've got the materials to do it. No, we do not, actually. We can expand this platform down here, which we do want to do. However, we do not have the supplies for it. I'm going to go ahead and just put a couple people down here. And what the game is going to do is going to tell us that we need to build the healing quarters, which I am working on. Let me actually focus on that for a second. Okay, so healing quarters is done. Let's go and just ignore that. I don't really care about the story at this point. The story is very interesting, but in here we can assign these people. Now, one of the things I have not mentioned, if you look here, we've got arrows up and arrows down. Arrows down mean that they are less efficient. Arrows up mean that they are more efficient. So we definitely want to put people in here that are good, because this is for healing. Now, as you can see here, people who need healing will come in here, and up top here you'll see how many folks, this is how many we've got that are having that issue, and then below is how many are being healed. If they have an issue, then they are not really able to work or may have issues working. So we want to make sure that we are healing our people as rapidly as we can. In fact, I'm going to max this out for so we get the most efficient. Let's see here. Yeah, our efficiency is 80. There we go. Efficiency is now 121 because we've got the full group in there working. And you can see each person that is being healed and what they're, once this hits 100%, they will be cured. And yeah, that does actually include things like mental health. So very helpful. Now, I also want to come back in here. We absolutely need another lumberjack hut. Things are looking rough. I'm gonna put this here. I want these to be close together because we're going to need something else later. Did we unlock anything new to scout? I don't see anything to scout yet. Kind of taking a look here, as you can see, our amount of wood that we have is pretty low. We use a shit ton of wood in this. The toilers complain of panic attacks at night. Many hear whimpers and moans. The shroud is getting thicker. Fortunately, daylight still keeps it at bay. Alright, light the flame guards near the buildings. They will protect the people at night. Okay, and that is actually what I was waiting for. Let's see here. A couple of crazy refugees managed to break free somehow. They yelled that the darkness had crawled into their entrails and it was moving there. They said the flames could purify them. They tried to set fire to themselves and burned in the buildings. Let's see here. We can either send them to the healing chambers or get the lunatics out of the area. Let's go ahead and just send them to the healing chambers. That did increase our fear, but it's fine. And the fear up here, we're currently at 27%. We should be fine. Now we have this thing called Flame Guard now, and I want to build one of them over here. You can see it's got a little bit of a radius. Let's build it here. What happens is, as the shroud moves in, if the shroud overtakes a building, then that building will start to be corrupted. If that corruption actually happens, then I think, I'm actually not sure if the building itself can't be used, but it's not helpful. That is for sure. Okay. We have fear. I have no idea what this is asking me. How are we doing? We have hungry. That's okay. So actually this is going to talk about it. This is why we need to build the flame guards. Let's go ahead and get people in here, and you can see it will light up, and that will keep the shroud at bay. This is very much a light protects us type of thing. How are we doing with healing? So it looks like actually we've made some progress. We only have 1 mentally ill and we have 4 severely ill, but everybody is currently healing. It looks like we've got a side quest available. Let's go ahead. Our wood supply is low. We can't direct buildings and correct skywalkers without wood. So build another lumberjack hut and cut a tree or 2. Let's go ahead and accept that. We need to do 200 wood in 3 days. That should be plenty. If you look here, this lumberjack hut produces 120 in 24 hours. And this one is a lot less because we only got a couple people working here, but it should be fine. So we've got 1 flame guard started. I would like to build the other one. However, these cost 30. I'm just gonna fast forward here. There we go. Now the flame guards do use wood as well, so that is something to keep in mind as you're going. So just remember that. Looks like we completed all of our healing stuff. These 4 we had originally when we first started out the game. Let's see here. The warm light of the fire guards is soothing. At night, people feel far better. They no longer hear the maddening whispers leaking from the shroud, even though the nights are growing darker. All right, so we have the next step of this. I don't want to call it a campaign because it just seems like this is the game. It's not sandbox at all. I'm gonna move away from this. We have a ship incoming. This is all you need to know about that. Let me go ahead and start this guard here. I feel like we really don't need anybody during the day. Right? Am I wrong? It's really just nighttime in which the shroud encroaches. I got nothing. At this point in time, we're just gonna be waiting. Oh, speaking of things, so what ended up happening here, this is a burnt building, so you may recall that whole thing about them setting themselves on fire. Yeah, that's where it came from. Luminarchy. Just the sound of this very word makes many people turn pale and shiver with fear. The Luminarchs carry the word of light with fire and soar to the furthest outpost. Their duty is to find and punish heretics. What in the 40k? Wherever and whoever they are. What do they need here? Let's see here. So either way, we can stop them from landing or we can allow them to look around. Just don't let them up there. Let's stop them and find out what's going on. The Rangers march to the berth. Their commander steps towards the Luminarch and makes a stopping gesture with his hand, and in a second he recoils, clutching his face. His subordinates back away, some of them dropping their weapons and begin to rub their eyes. The Luminarch walks through the broken formation without breaking stride. This conversation will not be simple. I temporarily blinded your rangers with the power of light for a few hours, although I could have incinerated them for their audacity. Was it you who gave this order? Yes, it was me. Here's a letter of credence from Archon Valphitus himself. We are under his personal protection, and for your authority, Luminarchy is subject to the eternal light only. There were 3 signals in the sky. We rushed towards them but found only ruins. Those who wanted to survive fled here. But shroud worshippers might be hiding among them. Therefore, every inhabitant of the settlement will be tested on the truth machine. The will of the light must be upheld, whatever the cost. So what they're gonna start doing is they're going to basically start harassing us, which is great news, by the way. It's exactly what I want. So if you click on the ship here, it'll show you that they're gonna be interrogating people. And it is a Skywalker, by the way. Yeah, Skywalker in this case does not refer to the Force, but refers to ships. The Luminarchs remain idle for many hours, but then they stopped and began taking each of Elrond's inhabitants one by one and onto their Skywalker. They were interrogated and many were tortured. There was nothing they could do about it after all. If the Luminarchs gave a signal, the incinerator cruisers would arrive in a few days, leaving only a scorched mark on the outside of their outpost. All they could do was hope that none of the inhabitants would reveal Elrond's true purpose. Now, we haven't really talked about what the true purpose of this place is. But anyways, you can see here they're going to be taking people and torturing them. Thanks, game. That's exactly what I want. Now, I need to, yes, I know. I need to improve a platform here, but I need 25 wood in order to do that. So let's go ahead and just wait a moment while we get some of that wood. There we go. Let's go ahead and build a new, yes, I know, thank you. Let's build a platform down here. So we're gonna get some builders down here. And yes, the people who are removed cannot work while they are removed, which is an absolute pain in my ass. All right, so we now have a new platform down here. And if you're curious, I can actually show you. Yeah, so we don't have the resources, but you can see we can now build on here. And this building is a little bit more safe than the ground. So we now have a bunch of homeless, and I think in here we can see who's being interrogated, and it increases. And once they are done being interrogated, they have trauma. That's why I wanted to make sure that I was getting the things, everything that I had done so far. Ooh, wait. Okay, over here we see a campfire. I'm gonna send out my rangers. One of the biggest issues is we do not have enough people to really do what we need to do. And yeah, they're gonna release and interrogate literally everyone here. And it is an absolute pain. Now, I kind of understand what's going on. Like, obviously, there may be bad guys in our midst, but like, also, can you not? I've got things to do and my people cannot work if they are traumatized. Sigh. All right, so the refugees were reluctant to speak with the rangers, but long story short, we ended up getting people, and the shroud had not claimed their souls, so we get a few additional people. We get 19 residents, which is great because now we can actually start getting more people working. I'm gonna have people work the daytime shift more than the nighttime shift for right now. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter, but for right now, it doesn't really matter. And you can see the people who are coming back. There's my rangers. Now we do need to build a storage device, storage depot up here. So we are gonna need 50 wood in order to do that. And we're making pretty good progress on the lack of wood. Okay, scouting party is ready. I don't actually think we have anything else to scout at the moment. So no big deal there. How are we doing? Rations increasing, correct? think what I want to do is slow things down a little bit. Let's add people to getting mushrooms. Okay, people are healing. We need a lot of buildings. Oh, we have another building. Did I not send people up here to work on this? Here, we can work on that. And get that cleared out. I'm guessing the people who were working on it got yoinked by... Oh, they're not currently... Nobody's currently being investigated. Alright, nighttime has fallen. Where's the shroud at? We have a lot of homeless people. We need to worry about it. Several toilers stand and talk at the forest edge. Light wisps of fog rise from behind the trees, moving oddly fast. One of the brave men decides to take a closer look at the strange fog, and it envelops him. A second later, he begins screaming loudly. The madman runs out of the fog and begins tearing at his face with his hands, as if trying to pull the fog out. The others watch the scene in horror, frozen. Finally come to their senses and try to run away, but it's too late. The fog catches up with them, too. So, the darkness has been summoned by sorcerers hiding within the settlement. It is, as the song of the Black Moon says, the shroud of the dead will cover the world. I am a man of science and I rely solely on empirical evidence. We should have built the engineerium a long time ago. Messer, the equipment is ready. Ether Watch requires height. We build it as an annex to the council chamber. Okay, Helga, do you see? Look at us. We are not hiding anything from you. We are just a mere research outpost. Okay, so we want to build the engineerium here, which is right here, which will allow us to do research. I actually kind of want to do that so I can show it off. Let's go ahead and select this. Let's see. Why am I? Yeah, they're stealing people again. Great. Okay, so we built the engineerium. Where is that at? Let's go ahead and plop some people in here. I'm gonna put 2. You know what? Let's do 3 a night and day. And let's go ahead and click on here. So basically, there's defense, exploration, resources, and social. We need to research. No, it is fog observatory. But we need 45 wood. Now, one of the big issues here, if you start clicking, if you start clicking things, you will see just how much wood we need. Yeah, so much wood. Which is the whole reason why I'm kind of focusing on wood production. Looks like this is in the shroud, but it's actually not in the shroud. I feel like the circle needs to actually reflect how much of the shroud is covering it, because this looks like this is in the shroud. I feel like the shroud needs to be actually outside of the circle. That is, I think, just a graphical problem, but it's still kind of frustrating to see that. So we need 40 wood for this, 45 wood for this. Let me go ahead and let that just produce. I don't think I saw any sort of, oh, there is. There's more people over there. Let's go ahead and grab them. Are you done interrogating my people, you pieces of shit? Yeah, so they're releasing my people with trauma. Thanks. Really appreciate that. Not rude. Also, it looks like, what do you mean they can't research? Oh, because I don't have any supplies. Yeah, I haven't given them any supplies in order to start researching. That would be part of a problem. All right, so we got more people here. That's not the button I wanted to push. We got 20 more residents. We really, really need more wood. And in fact, Well, I'm gonna start the research. Let's go ahead and start the fog observatory. It takes a day to do anyway. We have 1 day left on our lack of wood issue. We maxed out here? We are maxed out there. It's only gonna take us actually 5 hours. Nice. Okay, looks like our fear decreased. That's nice. We're definitely gonna want to build more. I'm also noticing our rations are becoming a problem, so the other thing that we're gonna want to do, and in fact I feel like that might be more important, is to build a cookery. I'm gonna build it... Where did I build the other one? I don't remember. Let's actually build this one maybe over here. And keep an eye on that ship from there. It looks like we got all the wood that we needed. Beautiful. My men notice lights in the shroud. They flicker strangely as if they are signaling for someone. They are only visible from the council chamber platform. Then we need to find the source of the signal. Send out a squad to search for it. I will be cautious. The Luminarchs have descended from the great tree and have gone into the forest. My rangers will return before they arrive, so the Luminarchs won't notice a thing. Okay, let's go ahead and send out one of these. By the way, it takes rations to do those, which is the other reason I want to make sure that we've got... Hey! Oh, yes. So we have researched the fog observatory stuff. Let me finish this really quick here. Let's toss a couple people night and day to work on those. And let's see here. I think we can go ahead and pause this. We don't actually need any research right now. What other building with no workers? I have no clue. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. So what was I doing? Oh, so if you go into the council chamber and click on development, you can now build the Aether Watch, which grants the ability to predict fog movements. Let's go ahead and start to produce that, which won't take too long to do. It's very quick and easy. There it is. And now we have this little guy here. It's basically down here will tell you what fog level you are looking forward to in the future. Let's see here. These guys are still exploring, it looks like. Now we also need to start worrying about... several exhausted people with senseless eyes are huddled around a fire. 2 of them stand out from the crowd. One in a filthy and tattered Ethnarch's robe is crouched on the ground in a baby's pose. The second one shines a lantern directly into the rangers' faces. His face is twisted into a crazy grin, but his hands tug at the lantern's curtain, repeating the same message over and over again. Skywalker, light monsters. So let's see, we can get fear, but then a bunch of people. Or we can get some rations, but less fear. We're gonna bring them with us. Leading lunatics through the fog is not easy, but that's not a reason to abandon them. Soon they will be in the healing chambers. All right, so we found people, but not answers. Let's see, 12-hour shifts take a toll on your people's health. Even the strongest will eventually wear it down. Okay, so we haven't really been running people on to exhaustion. However, we have a bunch of people that are fatigued, and that's the people that we just picked up. So don't you worry, it's fine. However, working 12-hour shifts can be useful if things are hitting the fan. However, I don't think we need to really worry about that. We have 4 people who are crazy, which is not great. And fear is also not great right now. So it looks like the people are leaving and running away, which is fine. And they're taking a bunch of people. All right, let's see what we got here. So we have a bunch of people who are able to work. Let me go ahead and start having more people get food. Settle down. Let's see, where is this? We need a lot of people working on food at this point. We definitely do not have enough. Let's build... For the record, I knew where I needed to look to get those, so... Because I have gone reasonably far into this. Maybe build one more house because we really need to think about that. Now, some other research stuff that would be particularly useful here would be the forest residence, which should allow us to upgrade the houses. So let's go ahead and I want to do that. How much was it? It was... Yeah, I totally read that. 45. So these are all working in great efficiency, so we should get 45 pretty rapidly here. Looks like we've got a bunch of people fatigued, but a lot of people are currently resting. A lot of people are currently injured. Can you not injure my people? That would be really great. Yeah, they're torturing them, by the way. That's why they're coming back with trauma. Kind of a dick move. Oh, so you can see down here, the shroud is definitely pushing, which is not great. I think this is actually the fog level. 12 is the top of, oh gosh. Let's go ahead and research this because I would love to see what we do here. Let's go into the engineerium and I'm gonna put everybody, I'm just gonna have these guys work real. I love the noises, by the way. And by the way, the corruption meter is right here. So we're doing pretty well there. Okay, we have some people who are hungry, but we have rations, so I'm guessing they might be in a location where there's not a lot of easy food. So we do want to focus on that as well. Make sure we've got plenty of rations all over the place. I want to finish this up. This will be the last thing I do. We'll finish this up and then we'll show off if we can build some of those annexes. This is a really pretty game. It is one thing. Today my brother denied a toiler who didn't have a certificate proving he had passed the machine of truth. Any explanations? The toiler forgot his certificate at home. We're a poor and backward outpost. We just maintained the device for measuring the level of the shroud. And at the same time, Chevro Rangers armed to the teeth are ready to die rather than let me reach the top of the great tree. Do I look like an idiot to you? My patience is over, Tessin. Now is your turn to pass the machine of truth. Tessin approaches the Luminarch Skywalker, trying his best to hide his willies. He manages to turn around and look at his comrades when the door closes behind him. Alright, so we've researched the forest residence, and now we should be able to... oh, we actually can't because we don't have the next level of this. So it looks like we're almost there. Let's get 60 wood. This is gonna take longer than I expected, isn't it? Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and build that and see what occurs. This isn't gonna take too long. I would love to see if we can, how much does it tell me how much this costs? 20, okay. We need housing at this point. 20 is about the same amount anyway. Okay, so it looks like now we are level 2. Can we now upgrade these? Yes, we can. Now it does take metal as well, which unfortunately we don't have a lot of, but that's okay. I just want to see what it looks like. Yesterday, Robmir reported that the Rangers discovered a field littered with metal debris. It looked like a remnant of the War of the Domains. By the way, where is Robmir himself? Those damn Lunarchs took him away for interrogation, but he's a tough one. He won't break. Me, though, I could barely stand that truth machine. How about you? Torture by light, hot needles. It all reminded me of my Solaric engine course at the academy. It burned just as painfully there, so I'm used to it. Yeah, send some diggers out to look through the metal debris you've mentioned. If we find anything worthwhile, it could help to make complex machines. Yeah, basically, ooh. We need a lot of rations to do that, but that's not what I'm interested in. I want to take a quick look. So it looks like we have an upgraded forest residence now, so it can house 12, so that's, this is a level 1. It's really hard to see. Level 1, and here's a level 2. So there we go. They're still stealing people. People are still resting. People are being healed at this point. So we're making pretty good progress, but these guys are still stealing my people. And yeah, so I don't know, I like this. I love the idea of building around like a circle. Yeah, you can build on the ground too, but obviously the shroud is dangerous. It's giving me, I don't know, it's fun. It's fun. I've been enjoying this. Obviously, personally, I tend to restart these types of games. Like I learn something, or like an event happens, which is, you know, I've already played through this a little bit. An event happens, so I end up actually going back and restarting because I want to make sure that I'm doing okay. Which, I mean, it's cheaty, but also I am that sort of person, so it's probably fine. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in a different episode. There is more to this, and it's coming out March 12th, so I'm excited to see the full game. There's a few balancing issues, by the way, like how much wood is required. There's a lot of wood required, and you build it very, very slowly. I don't like that. I feel like that's, I don't know, you just don't use a lot of supplies. Other supplies, it seems like. Food also, this is a thing for all of the games that I've been playing that are similar to this. It's like, what is that? Oh, those are my scouts. A lot of games that I've played that are similar to this, wood and food always, there seems to be a balancing issue, quite frankly, with them. And the game isn't very good at telling you how much wood, like, you know, I don't know, there should be a queue somewhere, because yeah, I have to look up here like constantly. Like I'm constantly looking up here. I never have enough wood, and I always have to like be double checking how many supplies I have, and I feel like there's got to be a better way to be doing that, simply because it becomes a micromanaging issue. Now, I don't mind micromanaging, however, I know other folks aren't as cool with it. Oh, okay, that's good. Yes, got more people. We're definitely gonna need more food, like a lot more food. But yeah, the concept of having to constantly look over and like just like, I think my eyes spend more time doing this than anything else, which is not what I would consider particularly fun when it comes to gameplay. So would highly recommend maybe introducing something somewhere that like maybe tells you about that. I don't really have a good idea of that off the top of my head, but it is a thing, and it's kind of obnoxious to do that. But it's not, this isn't the only game that does that, for the record. I didn't realize you could rotate things. How did I do that? That's not what I wanted to do. I have no idea how I rotated that. Huh. Cool. That was weird. Anyway, because yeah, I actually ran into a problem where rations were like a huge issue. And I wasn't entirely sure what to do with that. And obviously wood is going to become an issue. I think once I get this done, I'm going to have to focus on building maybe 2 or 3, probably 2 more lumberjack huts, because they are extremely important to this. And I think, you know what, I don't know what I think. That's it. I will see you all next time. Wait, what is this? Oh, the cookery. I actually don't have everybody maxed in here. That'll be helpful. I need another one, but that'll at least be good, because the cookery, that's not the cookery. Not this. These build 87 per day, but I feel like that is not anywhere near enough. I don't know. Tell me what your thoughts are. I'll see you guys later.